The U.S. trade deficit hits a record $153 billion in January. The Commerce Department reports imports jumped by nearly $35 billion to over $325 billion. Industrial goods imports led the 26% increase. This record deficit comes just before President Trump's new China tariffs take effect and ahead of potential additional trade measures. Facebook allows gender bias for job seekers, according to a European human rights body. The Netherlands Institute for Human Rights determined the platform's algorithm reinforced male and female stereotypes regarding the positions it showed to users. Women were more likely to get, quote, typically female professions, potentially preventing them from being aware of other employment opportunities. They say Facebook's owner Meta should have made adjustments to prevent that sort of discrimination. American Airlines announcing it will add 5 minutes to the boarding times for all of its domestic flights. A spokesperson says the additional time will help relieve some of the congestion on the jet bridge due to the pauses between the boarding groups. The airline also says it hopes the move will lower the number of passengers who have to gate check their carry-on bags. Clothing styles are constantly changing. Now that includes the chemicals used to create them. Danya Backus explains.
The Great Pacific Iron Works building in Ventura, California is where Patagonia opened its first store in 1973. Inside, you'll find a wide selection of outdoor clothing and gear. You won't find products intentionally made with a group of forever chemicals called PFAS.
We have a classic waterproof running shell here.
Patagonia's Matt Dwyer says that wasn't always the case. Developed in the 1930s, PFAS are not only used to make clothing water resistant, they took off in thousands of household products, from nonstick pans to stain-resistant carpets. Research shows PFAS exposure can increase the risk of health problems, including cancer. Patagonia decided it was time for them to go.
Over 50% of our product line contained at least one material that had PFAS chemistry in it. So we knew hundreds of individual raw materials made in a global supply chain, really big problem to solve.
It took years to find alternatives that kept clothing durable and water resistant.
We looked at every application and developed a specific chemical solution for it.
Now other clothing makers are being forced to do the same. This year, laws went into effect in New York and California banning PFAS in apparel.
That's everything from the clothing that we're wearing to shoes and backpacks.
Anna Reed from the National Resource Defense Council says additional states are enacting similar bans in the coming years, and others could follow.
Most of our clothing doesn't need to be stain or water resistant. So a lot of companies just stopped using it.
We work with folks.
Patagonia supported the new laws.
Now having those laws in place is a really good thing to spur positive progress.
Dwyer says the new PFAS-free clothes continue to keep customers dry while not exposing them to potentially harmful chemicals.